How's it going, YouTube? Hi, Drax here, and in today's video we're going to be discussing the main issue that Legends has right now. And as you can see in front of you, we are looking at that main issue, and that is the Hybrid Saiyan category team, or Hybrid Saiyans in general. The Hybrid Saiyan team, periodically and historically in this game, have always been the units that have shown with great brightness. When Father-Son Kamehameha Gohan first released, actually even before that, when the game first got its first taste of a true Hybrid Saiyan team, the trio that was run was the Super Saiyan Goten, Super Saiyan Trunks, and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then it died off for a very long time until this Trunks kind of revitalized it with this Ultimate Gohan, and then even now recently, and obviously Super Saiyan 2 Gohan was around at that time, but in more recent times, this team has become so problematic and so unfair to play against that a lot of people have been leaving the game. They have been taking breaks. They haven't been playing PvP in general because of how annoying this team has become over, I believe, the past month or month and a half now. Honestly, this team has always been good. FSK Gohan has always carried the team up until a certain point where he just couldn't do it anymore. And I believe the team got revitalized with the new release of Goten and Trunks, but even they weren't able to carry the team far enough. The issue started when Super Saiyan Gohan came out, and the duo of I'm just gonna call him LF Gohan, and then I call this Revival Gohan, and I just call this Future Gohan for now, because they're all Legends Limited. They're all Gohan, I should say. But when Super Saiyan Gohan first came out, he was very underrated, and a lot of people did not look at him they didn't look at him as being a very big threat to the meta. But he was a stepping stone, if I had to say the word is a stepping stone. Because when he released, he wasn't good enough by himself, even with the LF Gohan, to come in and to make the team a prominent team. Issue started when they released a Revival Gohan. Now, if you don't know what Revival is a mechanic that cannot be negated, like Endurance. Endurance is basically they survive getting KO'd, and they basically have maybe 20% HP after they get KO'd. Revival is a completely different story, and they come back completely at a certain amount of HP. So it's basically two units mixed into one, because it normally involves a transformation of some sort. It started with the Revival Cell, then we got Revival Clapku, who is just Super Saiyan Blue Goku from the Hit Fight, where he dies, and then this is the Super Saiyan Gohan from the BoJack movie that transformed into SSJ2. Now, everybody knows that this trio here is the most annoying trio to fight, and honestly, it was a little bit more manageable in recent months, or in recent weeks after they released him, because of they did release a couple of anti-Son family units. They do have a little bit of a synergy between them that can be broken by other teams like Saiyans or androids. But here's my issue. This past week we got the Zenkai for LF Goten and LF Super Saiyan Gohan from the Second Coming Broly movie, and honestly, these two were unneeded. They did not need to Zenkai either of these units, and here's why. First of all, you have a Legends Limited unit that is currently a Z tier unit at 6 stars. The only non-Zenkai unit in the game that is Z tier right now is this Gohan at 6 stars. On top of that, this Gohan didn't need to get a Zenkai. We have Super Saiyan 2 Blue Trunks, and I believe, no, he's not available in the Rush Metal shop yet, but still, we have this Trunks. He's not bad, he's extremely good, and you can run him on hybrids. He does have a hybrid passive or Z ability that buffs hybrids, so there's no need to even have him on the team. I do understand that Legends are probably looking at the stats and seeing Goten hasn't been used in probably 2 years. Even when he released, he was never really used. Maybe used a little bit, but even after maybe about a month or two, people forgot about him because no one really cares about Goten. Now I'm going to basically speak about the issue, and that is, why did they release two back-to-back Zenkais that complement each other when we have a Z tier unit, two Z tier units right here, and this guy's a high S tier unit at 6 stars. There's absolutely no reason why they should have Zenkai Goten, especially now. They should have maybe held off until maybe 6 months from now, when the Hybrid Saiyan team maybe died down a little bit. Then they should have maybe Zenkai'd him, or maybe not even Zenkai'd him then, maybe even Zenkai this guy here because of the blue Saiyan, blue Super Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan synergy that he has. Honestly, they have buffed this tag so much in the past couple months that the team has become unfair to play against. And even when fighting against teams like Regen, who are known for having big amounts of bulk and being one of the most difficult teams to bring down because of how bulky they are and how much damage they don't take, I should say, this team has become so unfair because you are basically fighting 5 units. On occasion, you don't really see maybe this Revival Gohan, maybe people don't have him, or maybe Super Saiyan Gohan, but even then you're still fighting against 4 units. Because of endurance and the revival, regardless if you throw out a rush and your opponent, or if you don't lock in a specific unit you want to rush, say you want to rush this LF Gohan, if you don't lock him in, like let's say with Zamasu's green card, or with Gogeta's green card or something, or work out a way to lock him in so that he can't cover change with these guys, you're gonna just end up killing them their first health bar, and then they come back, which is completely unfair. You're fighting 5 units, which is a very, very big deal if you look at how dangerous this team has become. LF Gohan here has skyrocketed back to being the best unit in the game. For a very long time he was teetering between number 2 and number 3, but now that he has a partner to work with, and a partner that he cover changes, or he has a type advantage to save this Gohan because he covers from yellow units, it's become extremely difficult to play Legends against this team. My hope, well, I did open up their kits and stuff just to speak about it, but I don't really think I need to speak about it more often. I think I covered what I wanted to say, but even with this Gohan here, he's a defensive type of unit. So on top of having 5 lives, if that wasn't bad enough already, you're giving them an extremely strong defensive unit that reduces sub counts to 0 when he pops his ult. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. This team, I really hope Legends is done with this team for the next maybe year and a half, because they are set. They don't need any buffs for like another year and a half, 2 years at this current rate. This Gohan got Zenkai'd, I believe, like almost a year ago, and he's aged. He's just as good when he's as he's when released. Maybe there's a little bit more competition now because of blue Zenkais, but he's still absolutely insane. Okay, let's go Broly. Now, my hope is that what Legends does after this is that they start implementing units with the anti-Son family ability, like this Broly has here, 30% inflicted specifically against Son family, or maybe even just have it to be hybrids and attack Saiyans, which would encompass quite a broad scheme of the game. Because if we look at the Saiyan tag is absolutely insane as well. You have Zenkai Super Saiyan 3, you have Zenkai Namek Goku, you have, who else? You got Majin Vegeta at 6 stars, is extremely good. You have Angel Vegeta, Zenkai Super Saiyan 3. They're both ultras, and they're extremely powerful. Before the release of the, I'm just going to close this, before the release of the Gohan and, well, I'm just going to say Gohans, because there's the Hybrid Saiyan team is just consists of Gohans right now, and maybe if you have Super Saiyan Goten. But before them, the Saiyan team was probably the most difficult team to fight against, and the most annoying. Now, what makes it an issue is that most of the Saiyan team itself is Son family. So what the issue was previously is that you would run a Saiyan team and you would just throw LF Gohan on there, and the team would work because he does have increased damage when there is a Goku family unit that dies, or a Goku unit that dies, I should say. But if we look at Goten, I shouldn't have closed Goten's panel here, but if we look at what Goten does for Son family, 25% to damage inflicted, minus 15 to special move, and then he automatically shortens Gohan's sub count. He works so well with this Gohan because this Gohan already reduces his blue card to 35. So you're basically spending 20 key to get off a blue card, which is insane. That's less than a blast card and practically the same amount as a strike card. So if you were to run a purple red team with these three, you would probably not ever lose, unless you got absolutely destroyed by someone who is clearly better than you in terms of skill and managed to work out a way to pick you apart. But then again, you still have 4 units because of this revival mechanic. Now my hope is that they implement, like I said, more anti-Son family units, or give units the ability to counter them by giving them increased damage against Tag Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans. Like Goku Black, for example, was the unit you used to counter LF Father-Son Kamehameha Gohan, because he did 25% extra damage to Hybrid Saiyans and basically kept that LF Gohan in check for a little while. Now that they have a purple unit to cover that Gohan, or on that team, this Goku Black can't compete anymore because of this purple Gohan keeping him in check, and now the LF Goten. If we look at this new Broly that they released, I'm just looking at him at 14 stars. He also has that increased unique because he's a unit directly after this Super Saiyan Broly here, because in the movie this is how it works. He transforms from this and he goes legendary, as you all know. But he gets only 30% strike damage inflicted against Son family. I believe this should have been damage inflicted like straight up because of how prominent Son family is right now. Another unit that also has anti-Son family is Turles, which is pretty good actually, because if you look at it, if you look at his kit, and everyone said he was going to be trash because of well, he is still kind of a little bit trash, but if you look at his kit now, he does have a lot of value because 40% to blast damage inflicted against Son family, and then 20% strike against Tag Saiyan. So him having all of these extra uniques against Son family is making him really valuable now. I doubt many people would actually Zenkai him because Turles as a character has been quite forgotten, and not many people actually like Turles in general. But another unit that people don't really remember is the first female warrior units that we ever got in the game, and that is Chi-Chi, and then we have the Videl here, and then we have, well, I should say this is the first like real sparking banner that we got with the female warrior units, and then the Bulma from Dragon Ball Saga. Chi-Chi has a 80% damage inflicted against Tag Son family. Now, with how the meta is progressing, I really do hope that they're gearing it up to the point where they Zenkai her, because if we look at the girl tag, there isn't really options that you can use here for green. I mean, you do have access to Vados, but she doesn't buff the team. Sure, Kefla is good, but she's really old now. Android 21 is a good example of a unit that could work very well, but she's very fragile in what she does. Sure, they have Zenkai Android 21, they have Zenkai 18. The new Kefla is pretty decent, but they don't have a Super Stellar green unit that can come through. Okay, there's Super Saiyan 2 Kefla. This team is pretty good now, I would say, but they don't have a Super Stellar green unit. And if you look at Android 18, she only counters Saiyans, if I'm correct. I haven't seen her kit in a long time. Yeah, she only does increased damage to Saiyans, so it's not like she would be a direct counter to the Hybrid Saiyan meta, but at least she has that extra passive. So my hope is that in future, or what they're gearing up to do, is to Zenkai these older female warrior units, especially Chi-Chi, because she gets an 80% damage inflicted bonus against Son family. That would actually make Son family one of the difficult tags to run, even with Hybrid Saiyans as well, because of how prominent Son family is on this team right now. But if they decide to Zenkai her, that would give people something to think about, because if she is doing 80% extra damage and they Zenkai her kit in a way that she's getting a lot of extra damage, like damage inflicted up when she swaps in, key, all that stuff, it would really make people think of whether or not they want to run Son family and kind of bring down how often you find that team in the game. That is my hope. I've always said, like, even when FSK Gohan Zenkai, like in the months post-release, I always said they need to Zenkai this Chicha to keep him in check. They need to do it so that the Saiyan Sun Family team with the Hybrid Saiyan Gohan does not run rampant and does not does not take over this meta and destroy people's enthusiasm for playing the game, because that's what this meta is right now. If you look at Goresh and what he spoke about with terms of hybrids, he plays very high rank PvP. Pre 1000, like upwards of 1000, the top 100. He's up there in the top leagues of this game, and he knows that most people up there are running hybrid Saiyans or some variation of Sun family with Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. So this unit here would actually be a very big Zenkai, as it would kind of rebalance the meta in favor of having more diversity with units, because let's be honest, you don't see females, or you don't see the tag girls or female warriors in PvP anymore. Sure, there are a couple of people who are running them, but like that percent is like not even 1% of the entire population of this game. Another unit that they could potentially Zenkai is this female Videl here, and I actually don't know whether they would, because she's also yellow and Android 21 is also yellow, and I don't think they want to create the same mistake they did with her, because when she released, she was extremely broken. But why I say they should Zenkai her, because she does 20% extra strike damage when she's faced with the enemy Gohan. If you look at the main team that you're running in with hybrids right now, Gohan, there are 4 Gohans already on that team if you have them. Then you have Goten, which is type disadvantage, who you would probably have if you Zenkai'd him, and then maybe Goten or something, or this Trunks here, or one of the Trunkses or something, or maybe even the Super Saiyan Gohan. She would be a very good unit to try and curb the meta a little bit, and with the fact that on the girls team that they have Android 21, who's also blue unit, which can translate to her keeping FSK Gohan in check, I would really like to see them implement that more. My final unit I'm just going to speak about is also this Gokua. This Gokua is currently the best option to run against Hybrid Saiyans. He's the only true counter left right now for Hybrid Saiyans, other than the Super Saiyan Broly and Turles, with these 3. But not a lot of people have him, and even if they do, he's at such a low star level that he's actually getting destroyed in PvP by the Hybrid Saiyans that he's supposed to sort of counter. This 60% to Hybrid Saiyans inflicted damage, and then he reduces damage from them by 30%. This is probably one of the best second uniques you can have in the game right now. I'm not even counting this. Just having this against Hybrid Saiyans is such a big deal right now. But my hope is that they Zenkai some of the female warrior units and maybe make them anti-Son family. Or maybe they did this to try and prepare for units that are going to counter these Hybrid Saiyans. Or maybe they're just not going to buff this team for the next year and a half, so they're making the buffs now. Honestly, I would have rather seen a different Zenkai. I don't believe he should have been Zenkai'd, and honestly, my enthusiasm for the game as of late has been pretty low with how many Hybrid Saiyan teams I've been fighting and losing against, because it's such an uphill battle when you're basically fighting 5 units. And this Gohan is not bad. This future Gohan isn't bad. He's extremely good. And what makes matters worse is that, okay, if they had this Gohan just be transforming, this team would actually be okay to fight against, because you'd only have to really watch out for this Gohan. But the revival and the endurance team up here it's too much. It's absolutely too much when you combine it with this Gohan, this FSK Gohan. I am really disappointed in Legends for the blatantly obviously bad moves that they've been making, or they've made this past week. We all knew that LF Zenkai was going to come, but we all expected it to be some form of maybe LOE or the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta from the Goku Black fight, or maybe even Super Vegito. If we look at the Sun Family team as a whole, right, this team has so many good units on them that you can probably run an entire Zenkai Sun Family team at this point. I think the only unit that they haven't released that has a Zenkai that's yellow is probably the yellow color for Sun Family. And I believe that they're intentionally avoiding this to prevent people from running a completely Zenkai'd up Sun Family team, because you have the blue, you have the red, you have the green, you have the purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So all you really need is the yellow one to make this team and a completely Zenkai team. But anyways, guys, I hope this little breakdown and rant of Legends and the issues that are plaguing the game, and hopefully options that they can explore to maybe fix how to fix the meta right now, because it's completely broken. At least with one team running around right now that is absolutely broken. I hope they Zenkai one of these characters, one of these female warrior characters, so that they can pretty much counter the plague that is Hybrid Saiyans. Because in future, if this is how they're gonna buff teams, then, or if they're gonna leave it as is like this and continue to buff this team, I don't really see Legends surviving another year or two, because a lot of people are very unhappy about the way that they went about this. Because why release this Gohan if you're gonna Zenkai him anyways? Yes, you could summon for him and fail, and then they probably release this option for people who didn't summon it and get him. But why release it so close together in the span of like a month? You could have waited like 3-4 months, maybe even 6 months, maybe even next year, maybe next anniversary, give this guy a Zenkai or something, and then bring him out to bring this team to balance it a little bit more. There was no need to make this team so abhorrently strong this quickly after anniversary, with how strong the team already was. These two units are probably my favorite picks to getting a Zenkai. I know people don't like Zenkais, but let's be honest, they're kind of necessary now with how prominent a lot of these units have become. But like I said, I hope they decide to Zenkai these two units, because these two units would probably be the best options right now, currently in game, to curve the Hybrid Saiyan pandemic, or epidemic I should say, not pandemic. The epidemic that is Hybrid Saiyans in this current meta. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will be back doing some showcases tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. My name is Hydrax, and I'll catch you all later.